can we stop acting as if Wuthering Waves is immune to power creep? Because honestly, power creep is inevitable. And I fully agree with Mr. Pokke saying that power creep is an issue if you allow it to be an issue. A lot of the times when people talk about power creep, they are not just talking about in the overworld how to conquer all these hardships, like if you don't have certain characters, how do you go about fighting the boss, climbing the walls, for example, or just maybe waiting until the day you get the character before you can finally clear the content. So I really want to take the time to talk about this issue. Hey guys, it's Kit here, and I finally got a VTuber model to accompany my video. I've been watching a lot of gacha creators lately, and I realized that this was quite a creative way to innovate my videos to make it a bit more lively. So yeah, I hope you have fun looking at my model. I'm really glad to be able to record it like this, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the reason why I want to talk about power creep is because I finally got Alekino and she made the game so fun for me. So I thought that I should do just kind of like a mini, not showcase, but just more like a mini playthrough on how I survived the bosses. Before I start with anything, I would like to say this. I am not a meta chaser. I never believe wishing for characters just because of the meta. For the simple reason that the meta character will always be outshined by another meta character later on, and if you are going to chase the meta, it's a never ending rat race. Take Venti and Kazuha for example. People were complaining about how Venti is being power crept by Kazuha, and then Scaramouche, Chaska, Mavoika came along and just basically obliterated both of them. Does that mean that both of them are non-viable though? No. In fact, I was a person who wished for Kazuha first. I had the privilege of getting Kazuha on his first rerun, I believe. And later on got Venti on his third rerun, I believe. I have no idea how many reruns it was, but it was in patch 3 point something, I believe. Yeah, so I decided to wish on Venti's banner because my friend has Venti and she also has Kazuha, but she used Venti instead, and he basically makes the whole game so much easier. I feel like the people who say that Venti is being power crept by Kazuha just don't really appreciate long ranged characters. Just like how people are saying like, oh, you shouldn't wish for Sigewinne, you should wish for Furina. I'll be real, Sigewinne really destroyed Kokomi for me. Doesn't that mean that I would stop using Kokomi though? Heck nah. If I was fighting some other bosses, I would be willing to take on Kokomi because she's my queen and she was the first character and the only character that I got on the first banner itself. Every single character I got in my Genshin account is basically all from the reruns. Do I regret that though? No, not really. I would just like to share my journey. So when I was AR13, I finally managed to get Xingqiu, and I've been surviving with Xingqiu and Kaya since then. I remember doing the Liyue quest was so difficult, honestly. Like, it was so difficult to do the Liyue quest without Keqing or without like some characters like Kazuha, Venti, and I really wish that I had a transversal character back then. I kind of wish that I held off that quest until I get a stronger character. And honestly, that just brings to the point where power creep is an issue only if you allow it to be an issue. A lot of the people that say that power creep is an issue, they're referring to the end game. I'll give another example. So I had another side account with only Kea, Barbara, Noelle, and the Traveler. And guess what? I managed to transverse to Fontaine, all the way to Fontaine with just them. And when I was trying to reach for this Hydroculus, I remember using Kazuha on my main account just to get it, and I was like, oh shit, what if I don't have Kazuha? And I managed to do it with just Kea. So yeah, sometimes it just takes using your brain. However, that being said, I do think that there's a very tough quest in Liyue where they require you to attain something from the sky. I have no idea where that place is, but I just remember that if it's not for me having Xiao, I don't think I will be able to clear the quest. And even though a lot of people say that Xiao is being power crept, I feel that he is still viable, honestly. The thing is, I feel like the people that talk about power creep, they don't discuss how characters are power creeping each other, number one, because they are different types of characters, and also because the characters are meant to be an improvement from each other. I'll give another example. Klee is known to be very clunky and very slow in her attacks, and Yanfei came along the way. And Klee was a monster character dated all the way back to 1 point something. I have no idea when her banner is, but she's one of the earliest characters in the game. So when Li Yue arrived, they decided to make Yanfei, who can literally auto-aim the birds in the sky for the ocean and just make the whole battle so much easier. I love the fact that Yanfei can auto-aim, but she's also kind of balanced in the sense that her defense is pretty weak. So if you don't have a shielder or healer and you don't have Sing Shield to vaporize her, there she goes. Yeah, that's where she kind of goes. And then I also have Hu Tao, who is known to be power crept by Arlecchino, and honestly I feel like the reason why they decided to make Arlecchino to be so OP is really because of her design. You know, like she's the harbinger, and we already know that Childe has so-called one of the worst kids in the game, but I will be real, if I have Primo Gems, I will actually go for Child just so I can feel silly. Like honestly, Child looks so silly. And also, I'm a person who wishes for my characters to be in a family. Okay, so I wished Arlecchino so that she can be with Laini, Lynette and Fremine. I wished for Ayato so that he can be with Ayaka. Similarly, I wished for Ayaka so I could take photos of her with Kazuha. Why am I talking about this? I just want to talk about how Genshin is a game that offers a wide variety of gameplay. For instance, you have characters that just force you to like aim all the way, and then you have characters like Sigewinne that just allows you to auto aim and then you just swap to another character and she basically does her stuff. I love that Sigewinne is an improvement from Kokomi, and she's the hydro bow healer that I wanted, and I'm just so glad that she's who she is. You know, I feel like the reason why Sigewinne is not a 5-star, it's not a 4-star, sorry, my bad. Sigewinne is not a 4-star because she's going to be too OP. Can you imagine if a 4-star could auto-aim any boss, and the ability to heal herself and her teammates as long as her bubble is jumping around? I think that that's pretty broken. Honestly, Sigewinne is broken, and again, the people who say that Furina is better than Sigewinne just can't appreciate how it feels like having a long-ranged hero that can just heal up your team. As you can see in my gameplays later on, if I ever reach that state, I tried fighting some of the bosses like Signora, and I really suffered because I didn't bring in the right characters, and my Arlecchino died because I can't heal her. And that's when I feel like Hu Tao has an advantage, because Hu Tao is not limited by that domain. In the Signora domain, basically Arlecchino can't be healed by any healer even if she had a bond of life, so she's bound to die there. But if you want a hero that's just slightly weaker than Arlecchino and do less damage and stuff but can survive there, then Hu Tao is definitely a better choice. Do I think that Arlecchino has diminished my interest in playing Hu Tao? I don't think so, because for Arlecchino I have my own team comps that she's suitable, and then for Hu Tao I have my own team comp. As you can see here, my team comp for Arlecchino is Albedo, Sigewinne and Mona, and I know that a lot of people say that Mona is being power crept also by Furina, but I also think that as a catalyst, Mona has stuff that Furina cannot do. I feel like I feel like a lot of these people who say like, oh, Genshin is not fun anymore because everyone is power creeping everyone, they are not taking the time to play in different team comps. They already have the heroes that can obliterate everything, so naturally they'll feel like the game it's not fun anymore. But for me, as someone who only got a 5-star at like AR 45, I really appreciate having weaker characters and try to get away from the bosses. You know, like I said, it wasn't until AR 50 something that I finally got Venti, and I can't even remember which AR I got, which AR I was when I finally got Kazuha. Yes, Kazuha did make my gameplay much easier, but back then when I didn't have Kazuha, I had so much fun with Keqing, and Keqing is still one of my favorite characters of all time. You know, she was my main along with Kokomi, and both of them basically dealt so much damage in the Abyss during the earlier days, you know, where I'm only doing at most 10k. Like, Keqing and Kokomi really carried me, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm just so glad that the roster is continuously improving. So yeah, now that brings me to the point on why I agree the people who say that Wuthering Waves will eventually release a character that will power creep everyone. Again, with every single region that the game is releasing, there's bound to be new challenges. And I would just like to take this time to talk about longevity of a character, and also how they are going to be power crept and how it affects them. So in, like, you can see nowadays that Wuthering Waves doesn't have a power creep issue, but take note that they're only in 2.0. There are a lot of characters in Genshin in 2.0 that can just kind of work with each other. You know, like, there are always characters that can improve each other's experience, and I prefer to use them together. So yeah, it's like with every new region there's going to be a harder hero, and we need to come up with a counter, and that counter might be the one that power creeps everyone. So eventually, if Wuthering Waves is to release like a super tough boss, there is bound to be a power creep. And also because of the designs, I think some people are talking about how Wuthering Waves, their design stops them from experiencing power creep, but I don't think that's the case. Power creep will be an issue if all they're trying to do is clear the end game and clear everything in the world within a day. You know, like I said, last time people were complaining about how Kazuha had power crept Venti, and nowadays we have Chaska, Scaramouche, you know, even Silonen and stuff like that. That's just power creeping everyone. And to be honest, I'm very grateful for the power creep, because power creep makes me realize that not every character lasts forever. You know, again, that brings me to talk about longevity. Honestly, I feel that every single character is usable as long as you find the team for them. For example, people say that Sarah is really bad, but when I tried her in Imaginarium Theater, I genuinely enjoyed her gameplay a lot. I love that her ult just buzzes everyone, you know, and playing Imaginarium Theater in Genshin really helps me to appreciate the different gameplay. And I was someone who used to not like Benny. I don't build Benny at all, but just because Benny is a sword pyro healer, I decided to build him. At this point in time, I feel like it's fair to build everyone in Genshin, because everyone has whatever they have to offer. For example, Dori is honestly, in my opinion, an objectively better healer compared to Shinobu. Let me explain what I mean. I just love that for Dori, it's so easy to build her with ER. Like, Dori thrives on her ult when you just need the enemies to be close to you. So for Dori, you probably want to bring someone like Kazuha, Sucrose, or Venti that can essentially group the enemies together. And I know people are going to say that that means that you need to wish for the character just so that another character can be useful, but that's the whole point of a team composition. If a character can just survive on their own, there's no need for Genshin to come up with elemental systems. There's no need for them to come up with different characters with different weapons. Like, the whole point of characters with different weapons is so that they can offer a new experience. For instance, Faruzan's Faruzan's charged attack is kind of like Venti's E, you know, like kind of like Venti's E and ult combined together. And if Venti were to have Faruzan's E, he's kind of broken. But if you don't have Venti or Kazuha, you can always go for Faruzan. You know, like, Faruzan is fun even at C0. And some people talk about how Kaveh is bad and being power crept by like, oh, Nahida and stuff like that, but I personally feel that he's not. Like, Kaveh is honestly a pretty good character when you just want blooms. I like to put Venti, Kaveh, Kokomi, like basically a Hydro together with an Electro, and I think that he makes these things really fun because he can heal himself when the blooms burst. So I feel like Genshin is not aiming to power creep everyone. I think that they're just trying to come up with different theme comps. I still think that Mavoika being broken is kind of unfair towards the old characters, but again, if you have Yelan, I don't think you might feel the need to get Mavoika. I feel like a lot of people feel the need to pull for the new characters because they're unwilling to wait for the next one in case a character that they like comes out. But come on guys, every single character reruns in Genshin, and even if you were to quit, I'm sure that you already have a good roster. I genuinely don't understand the people who say that Genshin is not fun anymore when they literally have all the characters in the roster. Imagine having Navia, Chlorine, and basically everyone and talk about power creep. Like, come on, you have the entire roster of characters that you have. And people, like, the moment Chiori is announced, people are like, oh, Chiori has power crept Albedo, when Albedo is literally such a good support, honestly. Before Kazuha, we actually have Albedo, whose passive allows you to, whose passive actually buffs the EM for every single character for 10 seconds. So Albedo is literally like a budget version of Kazuha, but with no CC, with no AoE, and that's why, again, I got Venti for him, and that's what I mean by longevity. It's like once you have this one AoE character, you don't need to go for new ones. You know, the only reason why I decided to go for Scaramouche is because I love his gameplay, I love the way how he flies through the air, but I'm not gonna lie, I still prefer to run around terrains, you know, just sitting down in the opera, because I am still wondering if I will be able to climb to Furina's throne without using Venti, Scaramouche, because Scaramouche is the only character that can probably cross to the other side of the Furina zone, and I realized that Kazuha can do it, but I am very curious to see whether other characters can do the same. It's a fun challenge. I feel that the reason why Genshin doesn't want to make the game too easy is because they really want you to innovate new ideas to clear whatever you're clearing. As mentioned before, when I was fighting Signora, I had a really hard time because my Arlecchino was just dying and she couldn't heal herself. So that's when I decided to either switch out for a DPS that I can rely on, such as my Albedo, or just bringing a new healer. I did try to bring in Kokomi initially, but I failed miserably because Kokomi is a Hydro healer and she can't really counter it, so she's not good enough of a DPS to counter Signora. And that's when I decided to take in my Albedo, and guess what? She did fine. You know, like, he did fine with, I did fine with Albedo along, and Albedo was all I needed. Honestly, a good DPS was all I've needed. You know, if I could bring in another healer and I just bring in Yanfei, I probably can clear the thing, you know. And when I was fighting Raiden Shogun, boy, that was really difficult. But the thing is, when you're doing boss fights, they literally allow you to choose different difficulties. So let's say you don't feel like doing level 90 today, you can always go for the easier ones. No one is forcing you to level up your world level, which is why I haven't cleared to the last world level challenge yet, where every single boss and every single Hilichurl is like level 100. Genshin is not forcing you to clear any of the level up stuff, so it's like you can take your time to gather the wishes, take the time to just kind of clear, I guess, unless I'm wrong, you know. Correct me if I'm wrong, if there's like a quest that like, oh, only AR 45s, then you can play this quest. But I believe that Genshin has kind of stopped that. It's like I can easily run to Fontaine as long as I've cleared some stuff and I don't even need to go to Inazuma, so I can literally go to Fontaine at like AR 16 with my Kaya and probably do the world quest from there, or just unlock the teleport waypoints. it's like Genshin is honestly a very chill and relaxed game, and I feel like the people that are saying power creep is an issue, it's no longer fun, power creep is ruining Genshin. Power creep is not ruining Genshin. The problem is that the players are ruining Genshin for themselves. And again, I'm the same person who has said that Genshin would never improve and Genshin sucks. But after getting Arlecchino, I genuinely enjoyed the game a lot more. Again, like I said, I didn't get Arlecchino because she's meta. But I will acknowledge it, she is broken, alright? And if Genshin were to not implement a stamina consumption system, it's going to be a problem, because without the stamina consumption, characters like Arlecchino that only relies on basic attack to move around the terrain is going to obliterate the entire Teyva, you know. So naturally there needs to be some form of constraint on the character. On the other hand, I find that the stamina consumption on wall climbing in Wuthering Waves to be really redundant. You know, like, if you want me to sprint up walls, why still put the stamina? I think that there is a way in Genshin where you can just literally sprint up the walls by cheating the system, and then once you hit that roadblock, they will let you climb again, which is honestly a pain. So I really hope that Genshin will implement a no stamina consumption wall running, because you can actually do that by cheating the system, but I'm not gonna try to do it. So in other words, I feel like when it comes to character longevity, you just really have to think for yourself whether you really need the character. For instance, people say that like, oh, Silali is really strong in terms of a healer, but if you already have a Zhongli or a Noelle, do you really need them, you know? Like, until today, Noelle is the only shielder and healer that can like shield and heal you as she attacks. And honestly, as long as you have a very strong battery around, like maybe a small mini support like Albedo, Diona, to just charge her up, I feel like it's fine. People say that Chi-Chi is bad, but I honestly love Chi-Chi. Guess who wished on Yai's banner praying that she would lose to Chi-Chi? Me, yes, I lost Chi-Chi, I lost Yai to Chi-Chi, and I was so happy because I really wanted Chi-Chi. I love Chi-Chi's ult and I love using her with Hu Tao. So if I were to make a team, I'll probably make a Hu Tao, Xingqiu, not Keqing, Chi-Chi, and probably I don't know what is the third character I'll put in, because I feel like that team comp will be really fun, where Hu Tao will just be like zooming past the enemies, and then you have Xingqiu to just kind of give her the rain swords, and then you have Chi-Chi to heal her up when she uses her burst. So it's like, as she drains her energy, she's also gaining the health so that no one dies, essentially. You know, I just really enjoy putting different characters together. I just love trying different characters. In fact, I even built my Aloy to level 70 at least, because I love the way she works. She's like my budgeted Ganyu, and with Jean, she honestly makes everything so much better. Even though a lot of people say that Klee really sucks, I still wish for her because I really want her to be with Albedo. And ironically, Albedo is actually the character that Klee needs to help her reach the range, because you know, Klee is designed to be a little kid. She's not an adult female like Yanfei. So if you don't have Albedo and don't feel like wishing for Albedo just to make your Klee viable, then you can always go for other characters. I feel like, again, the people that say that power creep is a problem, it's just not putting their brain cells to think like, hey, what is the better team comp? As I mentioned before, when I was killing Signora, I had a really hard time, but all I needed was to swap out into a stronger DPS, and if I could, I would actually change to Hu Tao, because she will get healed by Noelle and Sigewinne. Like, she will be healed by Sigewinne and Noelle respectively, while Arlecchino cannot because of her kit. So I feel like every single character has their pros and cons, you know. And again, like I said, I just love that Dory is so easy to charge up, and I'm willing to build my Beidou since she's now at C6. I've also gotten my Rosaria to level 70 as well, because even though I have Shenhe, I also prefer Rosaria's low cooldown. In general, I prefer low cooldown characters with a high burst percentage. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. In conclusion, power creep is an issue only if you allow it to be a problem, because in the overworld, Genshin, no one is forcing you to finish the whole of Teva in one day. Okay, I started in 2021 and I haven't maxed out any nation at all because Genshin is a casual game. I enjoy using different characters. I enjoy using my Arlecchino. She made my game so fun. She made me addicted to Genshin again because she's so pretty. I could just sit down and look at her. Even though she's weak and she's surviving on a level 3, like even though she's surviving on a 3-star weapon, even though my Lynette is surviving on a 3-star weapon, I don't feel the need to force myself to pull for any weapons or characters, which is why I agree with the people that say that you should plan your pulls beforehand. And even though I do agree that the gacha system is predatory and they should just make every 50-50 to be a win, I still do think that it's alright, you know, like if today I were to lose Arlecchino to Diluc, unfortunately, I will build my Diluc. You know, I don't have Diluc until now, and I built my Xingyan in place of Diluc, but because I don't have weapons, I don't wish on a weapon banner, I'm short on banners, so even though I want to try different team comps, it's really hard for me. I did wish for Nahida, but I will say that Emily is objectively better than Nahida when it comes to being a support. And will I get Emily in the future? Yeah, I will probably get Emily in the future because she's really good, and I feel like the negativity surrounding Emily really made me regret not getting her because a lot of people are saying like, oh, her kid is weird, you know, her design is weird. Like, I don't care if her design is weird. I want Emily, okay? That lantern she has right there, raining Dendro, and you can just use a pyro character. I want that, man. And I really want Chavrouche, but I'm low on promos right now, so I have to wait until the next Chavrouche banner probably, or try to grind my way through to get Chavrouche. I just think that I'm a player who enjoys all of the Genshin characters. I don't think that any of them are insufferable. I don't think any of them is as bad as people make out to be. So let's stop acting as if Wuthering Waves will not have any power creep issue. Let's not act as if this problem wouldn't happen later on in their game, because it's happening. It's gonna happen sooner or later. Some people say that it's fear mongering, but I don't think it's fear mongering. I think it's being objective, because you can already see how in Genshin power creep is an issue whenever a new region is out, which is why, yeah, I really hope that Genshin will implement that no stamina wall running system, and that will basically break whatever Wuthering Wave fans are saying. Because yeah, like I said, if Genshin characters were to not have any stamina consumption, they can basically obliterate the entire Teva. Like, imagine if Kokomi could just run on her burst without any stamina consumption. Then what's the point of having Furina with their E and her ability to run on water? Right, so yeah, I do think that devs know what they're doing, but I still wish they gave Mavoika her Roaring Lion. Okay, I'm still not happy with that motorcycle, but yeah, she's cool, everyone is cool, so peace out. And let me know what you guys think. Tell me whether you agree or disagree. I just genuinely think that power creep is not that much of an issue. Just take your time, enjoy the game. If you don't like it, just take a break, go back again, fight some ley lines with your character, innovate some new ideas, and you'll be fine. Everyone is fine, alright? Like I said, I didn't get my Fenty until probably AR 58. I'm not kidding you. And I didn't get a single Archon until I got Venti. So yeah, I basically survived Genshin until AR 58 without any Archon, with just Kazuha, Kokomi, Ayaka, and Keqing. That was like my lineup last time. But yeah, now I have a lot more characters, and I just can't wait to get Ganyu in her rerun because I don't have enough promos right now. So yeah. Bye bye guys, and thank you for listening to my video. Alright, so if you're here, why are you still here? Why haven't you clicked away from my video? But anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking around. I always give myself time to do some outro because as I edit my video, I always realize I'm missing something. So I just want to say that when I was talking about that quest, it's not actually a quest, it's just like a fun activity that this NPC in Liyue asks you to do, where you're supposed to pass through some circles to get like this luxurious chest. I wasn't able to do that even though I put my full team of Kazuha, Scaramouche, and then I realized that I needed Xiao to do it. So I was like, oh my goodness, hail Xiao, man! Xiao pretty good. Xiao is pretty good, honestly. I'm just so glad that he was around. And I just want to say that I did eventually wish on a weapon banner, okay? I wished on Zeronen's weapon banner because I was wondering what I would do if there was a day where I missed out a weapon. Like, what if I never got Albedo's weapon in the first place? I was actually stupid when I got Albedo's weapon. I didn't know that it was like, oh, a limited time event weapon that was going to disappear. I just wanted the weapon because I thought it looked good. I never thought that my Albedo would come home. And as you guys already know, I lost Albedo twice, okay? 270 pulls to get this guy home. 210 pulls, I think 210 pulls. I spent 200 pulls to get Albedo. Okay, at least 200 pulls to get Albedo. And I finally got him with a Cinnabar Spindle. But I was thinking, what if I didn't get that Cinnabar Spindle? Would I still be able to survive Genshin? And yeah, I would. I would actually wish for Zeronen's on her weapon banner, because Zeronen's weapon is exactly what my Albedo needs, to be honest. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough primos, so that didn't go very well. But if Zeronen were to come around again with a weapon, I will be getting a weapon. So I probably will prioritize either getting Emily first or her weapon. I'm just saving up right now. If Albedo is fine with whatever weapon that he has, I will just, wish for Emily instead. And I have no idea, okay. I just really want to get Ganyu. I just really want to get Ganyu for my Ayato, because I remember trying this domain during an event, and oh my goodness, and Ayato together with Ganyu is like freeze comp to the max, okay, and I love that. So yeah, I will be wishing for Ganyu in the next patch, in the next update, whatever. And yeah, unfortunately, Alekino came home, but she made the game so fun. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna quit Genshin. I'm gonna continue to play Genshin every day because I love my Alekino. Okay, now she's going to have a dance slave, and I'm honestly tempted to save for dance slave. So yeah, I'm just gonna save up my primos. And I just wanna say, I really don't like how the new Lantern Rite is unvoiced. Okay, I wanted to make a video, but I decided to just talk about the power creep first, because yeah, I really don't like the rage baiting and the fake hate going around. See you around the next video.